I'm David Wightman and I'm a painter. The piece is called Hero and it's named after the female protagonist in Ovid's Hero and Leander. So Hero is actually a feminine name. But I also like the idea of it relating to the ideas of the heroic landscape first introduced by Poussin. In Hero I've created a large mountain painting made of wallpaper, and it refers to an unknown place, and I like the idea of it fitting into the tradition of heroic landscapes. The idea of the landscape being unknown, unpopulated and sublime. So it's not a landscape that one can inhabit, it's a landscape of myth and legend and of history. It's not a landscape any of us can participate in. Colours I use have far more to do with colour theory and abstraction than they do with forms of traditional landscape representation. So my work, in a sense, has more to do with the work of, or the colour theory of Joseph Albans than, say, the colour palette of Constable. Okay. I make paintings using wallpaper. I make abstract and landscape paintings. The abstract paintings are based on motifs from the kind of history of abstract painting, and the landscapes that I paint are based on landscapes based on photographs and postcards and other paintings and the history of landscape. So in both senses I appropriate images and motifs and use them in my work. And I use wallpaper as a way to kind of signify my own background, my own childhood, growing up in a home full of blown vinyl wallpaper. I like the brief of House 2013, Unknown Landscapes, because it's what I deal with. All the landscapes I paint are based on different sources, and they're edited and perfected and idealised, and they're removed from their original setting. So I use postcards and paintings and photographs that I find from different sources. I edit out villages and houses and people in ski lifts and plains, and I make them into these kind of perfect, idealised, unknown landscapes. My very early pieces using wallpaper were completely abstract, and they were based on famous abstract painters from the past. So I painted targets and squares and stripes, all using collage wallpaper. So in a sense I wanted to reinvent or reinterpret abstraction with a far more personal approach. The personal approach comes in with the wallpaper. I started to think about other genres or other types of painting that have somehow fallen out of favour. I thought of landscape, and in a sense it has a similar kind of idea, it has a similar kind of a basis of an idealised form. You have idealised forms of abstraction and idealised landscapes. So like what I'd done with abstraction, I wanted to reinterpret and reinvigorate, or see if I could kind of combat it in some way, the genre of landscape. So I started to look at landscape painters from Poussin to Constable, Turner, to Friedrich, and thought, how could I kind of redo this work? How could I approach this differently? And the wallpaper that I'd used previously in the abstract work was the obvious way forward.